Hello, everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike. Yet another new week ahead of us with new flights to try out. Today we are in Sarasota, Florida. Yeah, it's time to head back north. Had some pretty good storms rumble through here in St. Louis, although they were on the building side as they became some pretty mean storms east of us. From, say, if you're familiar with a road map, Interstate 57 pushing on east into Ohio. And then it looked like, as I kind of thought it might, went down into the southeast more. So, but still, nonetheless, still ferocious, still gave people a lot of pause. And on top of it, our granddaughter of our youngest daughter turned 1. Awesome. And next week, our another granddaughter will turn uno. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And yet the 3.5 still terrorizes us all. But they're all great. Love it. Was a great time. Great time with family. Great everything. That's why there really wasn't much over the weekend from me. So kind of rusting up. It was a whirlwind weekend, I'll tell you that. All right, so like I said, we're in Sarasota, Florida. You know, I really need to go to Sarasota just to relax. It feels like sometimes. Oh, but instead, we're going from Sarasota up to Reagan National. We had hopes of runway 33. That was in our minds all night. We're going to land on runway 33 for the very first time because I did not know airliners of this nature, A319s, 737s, landed on that run. I thought it was strictly regionals and more to the point turboprops. But come to find out, the big guys come in there, well, so to speak, for that airport, the big dogs. I always thought we were relegated to 1 and 1.9. And it looks like today, if I look at the weather charts and the weather information, it looks like 1.9. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. You never know what Mother Nature may throw our way. And before you all tell me, yes, I know I can change the weather anytime I want in my sim. Hang on, I just heard a scream. Don't know. Yeah, she's also trying to walk in. As none of us remember those days of trying to walk, unless you're trying to walk after a long night at the bars. You know what usually happens. Poor little kitties lose their footing and boom. And yeah, the ensuing curdling screams come after. So, anyway, we're off to DC and hoping, but probably not happening, runway 133. All right, so and if you don't know that, and where it was introduced to me, and I began to ask questions, was unfortunately that horrific crash. I don't know, was that the beginning of the year or the end of last year when the collision occurred? Oh, anyway, it kind of went, oh, we can land on that runway? I mean, I knew we could. I didn't know the size. But then when you look at Santa Dumont and a few others, you go, why didn't I think that? Landing on 4,000 feet of runway. So, we're off. We are in the A319 for Virtual American Airlines today. We are sporting one of the decorative liveries of the, well, parent company of American Airlines who bought them, U.S. Airways, who was bought by America West. However, when U.S. Airways was formed, Allegheny, not the Allegheny turboprops people may have remembered many years ago because they're now part of Piedmont. This is before that. Same with their Piedmont livery. It's before U.S. Airways, when they were actually their own airlines in their own little niches. Piedmont actually had quite a bit. The rest kind of, they had a good solid base where they flew. Allegheny in the Alleghenies, PSA in the Pacific, and Piedmont, like I said, they had a pretty good footprint. Well, they all came together, and kind of like the railroads some of them came together, and out of it came Conrail. Here they came together, and out of it came U.S. Airways, or at the time, U.S. Air, and then moved on. So up the ladder, and eventually would be bought out, like I said, by America West, who would then go on and buy out American. Each time America West bought one of these entities, they kept the names for notoriety. So they could be, oh, who's America West? Never heard of them, especially if you're in Germany. So, who's that? So, but they know U.S. Airways, and of now they know American Airlines. Yeah, it's those little secrets people don't realize. They bat around thinking what they do and not realizing they got bought out by one of the first airlines to come out that started after deregulation and was able to succeed. Not many. It took a lot. So anyway, enough of historical references. We're here to fly, not talk. Well, kind of, sort of. So let's get into the plane and do some getting ready for flying. Ruh-roh. Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. Hang on. I'm just going to do it the easy way. I forgot to do that. All right, that's all good. There we go. Now, let me tell you something. Usually they would sit on the ramp like this, even though they're connected. However, by turning the batteries off, if for some reason, if you all know, electrics doesn't always hold, and say the connection fails between the GPU and the aircraft, you're not draining your batteries. You can't just go to Napa and get another set of batteries for the plane. It's going to take a little bit. All right. So anyway, that's how you would normally see it. And then the crew would come in, kick the batteries on. They're still on external power, and make sure everything's set up. I'm going to do a CVR test, cockpit voice recorder, and sound check. I think that's coming through pretty good for you. Let me look. Maybe not. Let me boost it a little. Well, hopefully it is. All right, and then you could do the cargo. We're going to skip. We're going to continue on. We got our fuel pumps off. Strobe lights and nav lights set. We'll come down here. Spoilers are not armed. Flaps are 0. Cockpit doors open. Master switches for engine 1 and 2 are off. Mode selector normal. And exponder. And I'll get this set, but leave the radar off. Radio frequencies for now look good. We'll tune them a little better in a moment. Okay, that brings us up to, hang on a second, I thought I had this page ready. We've already done the cockpit, the flaps. We'll get the APU going here momentarily. Let's take a look at this flight, shall we? You can see last night's thunderstorms where they are today. Now, knowing the way weather works in the U.S., I kind of figured this would not be on the coast this morning. If it were, then there's a very good chance we would have had north ops here. However, it's not. No, don't get mistaken. That's just a dry line. Here is the front. So once this swings through and the winds switch around, then the north ops begins, which is what we were hoping for. Okay, so there's our route. You can see it spelled out for you over here, the CAMJO Q99 OGRAE fluff or FUUFF waves caps into or waves into the caps 3 arrival. Looks pretty sound, doesn't it? Well, let's see what we get today. Today we're flying 26,894 pounds of payload with 17,800 pounds of fuel, 119 brave souls behind us, and we're going to be going with 6,000 pounds of cargo. Okay, what I tell people, okay, the passenger load will be accurate. The cargo may or may not. We aim for the zero fuel, 120065. We try to get as close as we can to that. And then dispatch gave us a cost index of 40 and flight level 370. As you'd expect for the weather here in Sarasota, beautiful. Yeah, what would it not be here but beautiful? Winds out of the southwest 220 at 10 mile visibility and clear. Why are we leaving? I mean, this is what we all want. And even the temperature is in the 80s. So, I mean, can we just stay? Seriously. Up in DC, currently the winds are out of the south, 15 gusts to 19. Not too bad for the river's arrival. Normally, I would love to jump on the river's arrival. Love it. But today I was kind of hoping to skirt in on runway 33. But 10 miles of visibility. It's actually a beautiful, right now, beautiful day there. It's in the 70s. So we can't complain too much. Just got to make sure we strap down our hats and all because the wind is, oh, we just had an update. It's a 180 at 14. So again, still a beautiful day in the capital. All right, and we'll go ahead, get this filed up. As soon as that shows up, there it is. We'll get rid of it. Bear with me a second. I'll get it off your screen here in a moment. I got to fill in a couple of blocks. And all right, we're just getting online here. AAL 30105. And it's an A319. Okay. That beep 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 means our squawk code is with us. I didn't catch it quick enough. 6026. Let's go ahead, throw that in there. 6026. And go back to messages. While we're here, might as well. Okay, our CTAF 120, 100. Okay, there we go. We've got everything set to go. I'm going to go ahead for now and keep using this as our sound for ATC. I'm starting to actually like having it up, mainly because it tells me, hey, look, there's centers up. Hey, look, there's approach or tower or ground. I can see it. So it's a little, I've got another field of view to catch it on. So bear with me. And if it is getting too cumbersome to see things, hey, I'll get it and I'll get rid of it. Pretty sure I know the culprit to fix to get that to work. Oh, I am on that screen already. Okay. All right. Enough playing around. Let's get to work. Okay. So we've got the basics done. Oh, we need to get the aircraft starting to load. My bad. Jumped the gun. Okay. So if you click mechanical or attendant, that's going to open up little menus here. First up should be fuel. I'd ask if anyone remembered how much fuel to put on, but I don't think anyone knows. Okay. Go to the next page. Let's keep that for now. Okay, let's go to the next page here. We're looking for 19. Okay. Let us see how this is done. Okay, over here on the EFB, you got a lot of tools. We'll do weight and balance, reset, 116.2. We're looking for 120.0. So that means we need roughly 800 pounds. No, stand by. We said 116. We need 4,000 pounds, right? Yes. Let's see how that did. 12,228. I know what I can do. We'll do it. We'll come down here. Come back, see how that did. Wow, 120,028. We're looking for an estimate of 120,065. That's pretty good. We're still loading fuel on. Let's see where we stand on that. We're at 12,000 out of 18,000. Got a little ways to go. All right, so that actually worked out pretty good. All right, so now the aircraft's getting loaded with fuel, but otherwise weight and balance is all set and squared away. And let's just get up here, finish this off without the APU on for the moment. All right, so the crossbleed will remain where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and put the flow to normal. Fuel pumps will wait a minute, we're way off here. Air conditioning is fine. And the gens are the way they are. Okay, let's start the alignment. Go to status. On bat came on. On BAT came on for IR2. Number 3, IR came on. Okay, with that, let's come down here real quick. Let me size that real quick. That looks good. That one real quick. Okay. Let's get the charts program in here. Okay, you can see our route up to DCA. Planning runway 14. Is that a good choice? Looks like it. Until I look at length just to make sure. One 4 looks good, just sucky that it's a long taxi. Oh well. Okay, what we're here for though are the coordinates, if they have them. They may have been on that, they are on that page. Says so right here, and they're right there. Okay, so yeah, we can do that. We're in B1. All right, so we need to first get this over to init, request. Okay, let's look at our lat long. It's on this page. Sometimes we got to click a line to see our coordinates. Okay, so we're at 2723. We need it to say 0.3, so double checking. 2723.3, good. Longitude needs to read 8233.2. Whoa, 8233.2. Hey, that's correct. So we'll align it on that coordinate, which will put us somewhere on the B1 through in this area. Then there's another one up here, and B14 has its own. Okay, working. Let's get our wins. All right. Let's go to the next page here. Come over here, double check 120.1. All right, so it's going to be 120.0 for our zero fuel weight. Our zero fuel weight CG, look under center of gravity, ZFW CG to 8.0. And we're going for 18,000. Okay, everything adjusted nicely. F plan. Okay, and I know you didn't see a lot because that weirdo behind the screens forgot to get rid of one. Okay, so out of Sarasota, we have the Tides 1 departure. Oh, it is down there. My bad. For some reason, I thought I was seeing the other airport. Okay, so we're going to come off to Urchin. Boo. Boo. And the 1-year-old has blessed us in the cockpit. Boo. Boop, boop, doop, boop. And you can see how we're going to get out of here. All right, so we go up to Sarasota, and here we go. Departure. 1-4. Tides. CAMJO, I know, is our departure. Okay, and we insert. Let's go to plan, and let's get rid of charts. Now you're going to be able to follow it as I watch it just to make sure everything looks good here. Okay, urchins, snags, thong, fins, tides, high run, brung, ended, willen, spring, CAMJO. All right, there you can see it walking up the chart here. All right, from here, we're now just gonna look for discontinuities. There'll be one. There it is. It'll be the one for DC. Now, here's where the fun begins. Currently in Washington, they're calling 180 at 14. We just went through this. So technically, we could do one of two approaches, the Rivers Visual or the LDA. We're going to have to look at what Y and Z do. And the RNAVs. So let me bring charts in. This is where this program really earns its money. You can select. Okay, now the blue is a LDA, which is pretty much following the river. LDAZ is the yellow, which is pretty much a straight shot still west of the monuments, east of the Pentagon. Yeah, you got a narrow corridor to work in to get into the airport. And then Z is green, also possible. RNAV yellow. That is your rivers approach. There's the Z also. The two RNAVs follow. Here's the Yankee. See how that's just straight down, but yet still keeping you in that. Basically, you're to stay by the Potomac, especially within a mile of the airport. That's where all the monuments are. They don't want the overflight of aircraft to do any destruction. Here's the LDA Yank. Also pretty straight. LDA Z. Also pretty straight. Basically, if you fly the RNAVs, you're doing the visual. RNAV 15, that's a long taxi. Never mind. Let me show you this before we make our call. Okay. Now, looking at this chart, you can see why the predominance puts us on runway 19 or runway 1. It is a 7,100-foot runway. Adequate for just about a lot of airliners. Okay. However, how many of you have flown Santos Dumont? Those raising your hands can realize, yeah, you can land this plane on a 5,200-foot runway. Even the 5,000-foot for 22. At the cost of long. The reason they'll come in 3-3 is look at how short this taxi is. That's why. Okay, so theoretically, that's why I wanted to come in and see how we do this approach, because I think that'd be pretty cool. We'll get it another day, just like we've been trying to catch that expressway into LaGuardia, we may be getting that here soon. And then we park up here, either this pier or that pier. U.S. Airways had a big foothold here. I don't know how much they had to give up to do the buyout, but uh, they lost parts of LaGuardia. I know that. U.S. Airways had a huge footprint in LaGuardia. So that gives you the idea. Of course, this is that infamous runway. Now we saw the RNAV for runway 15. I don't, if anything, we'll just stick to 19. That's just a long taxi. So 19. You know what? Let's do this first. CAPS 3 is our waves. Okay. So we're coming in. We're going to go up to Pickle and then work our way onto it. Okay. And there's that river we got to follow to get in. All right, we'll do that. Okay, so Pickle to, how about Derek following the river works for me. Add that to the route. Now you see it over here. So what that means is we're doing the RNAV Yankee. CAPS 3 star. No vias. And waves. Okay. Hey, Bad Attitude. Hope you're well this morning. Hey, Bad Attitude. Welcome aboard. Doing great. Yourself, I hope. Doing just as well. Okay, let's push in from waves. Everything's looking good. And there. Okay, hang on. I'm going to drop it to Packle. And then over to Derek, and we fly the Rivers approach. Again, bummed I didn't get my way with the 3-3 approach, but hey, hang on a second. I'll be right back. A little 1-year-old is not happy. boy, they turn one and get a sassy attitude. Well, I just got back from a DR's appointment and about to fly Savannah to O'Hare. Did the 219 have an update? 319? I didn't see one. Be honest, wasn't looking. ToLiss. Uh-oh. 330? No, I don't see any updates for the 319. The last update I show is 330 getting one back on the 11th. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, the last updates I'm showing in Discord there were on the 11th for the 330, the 9th, the 320 Neo, and the 9th for the 321. Nothing of late for the 319. Unless they forgot to tell us. All right, so from Packle to Dark. But yeah, a little turns one, and boy, does she have a little sass to her. It's almost like my wife likes to say she's cussing at us. Cussing in baby language. Okay, if we go out to our missed approach at Baden, and then Pittsburgh should be our missed or alternate. It is. All right, so I think we are looking ready to go flight plan wise. Sorry for the delay there. Okay, NavRad or RadNav looks good in case we got to bounce back due to big problems. And time for the famed performance page. Appreciate it. Appreciate the heads up. Yeah, I've got everything I believe up to date. ToLiss wise. Zebo and Level Up. Well, Level Up, I don't know when I'm going to update that, but Zebo I need to do. All right, let's head over here, get our update going, or our performance. All right, weather-wise, 220 at 11. Let's definitely get that right. 220 at 11. Temperature still 28, 2999 dry, and everything else looks good. We'll run with the air conditioner on. Compute. All right. Okay, I'll go that way. Flaps 2, flex. Everything looks good. All right, so we'll uplink 2999. I know why it says what it says. Equivalent to 1015. We said 220 diagonal 11 and flaps 2. I put this in. It seems it gets a little dicey to put it in later. I don't know if that's real or not. Let's request some data and we're ready to go. All right, now the data you see in front of you is TOGA. So we want to go flex 64 now, 129, 129, 132. I like it. Go. Let's go 125. 2932 looks good. Up 06, which is different. And we're flexing though at 64 instead of 67. So we'll stick with what we got. Head over here. Put that in map. Okay, actually, let's go here. All right, so first thing, 2999, both sides, LS constraints, VOR, VOR, we're in arc and 40. Everything looks good for speed and heading. Initial climb. Am I gonna like this? 5,000's not bad. That's just in case ATC comes up to pester us. And VOR, VOR. And we'll go with a landing system there as well. And anti-skids on, landing gear lever down, 3 green. Switching levers are to the 12 o'clock position or normal. Throttles move. That is one thing that you guys could do to, make sure your throttles are connected. Last week we had a situation where the throttle had disconnected from the sim and we needed to get them reconnected. Now they work just fine. Engine masters again are in off, normal for the mode, and we're set, ready to go. How about you? Okay, Sarasota to DC, start the flight. ACARS is now up and running. I'll be right back. All right, let's get this thing pushed back. What do you say? Okay, don't forget, we are in the last few hours, actually moments, of where you can get this deal 35% off if you gift 5 or more subs. And I think we're right at the end of it. I'll keep that running. I don't know. Okay, so let's come down and get rid of our baggage carts. I'm going to go ahead and get the EPU running. How's that? That sounds like a really smart idea. Once it's up and running, we'll be ready to get going. All right, we're on APU Gen. Let's get the bleed running, come off external power, fuel pumps on. The jetways, for some reason, don't work here, and I don't know what it is to get them to work. It's kind of a bummer, but I mean, it isn't a really major airport. But I mean, neither is Mid-America, yet theirs work. I don't get it. It's way above my pay grades, what I figure. Okay, let's call better pushback. After, oop, wrong one. Let's go ahead, pull the power. Lock in the door and should only see chocks. Yep. Okay, better pushback.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
You know, let's just kind of do it simple today.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
All right. Brake set.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Sarasota traffic, American 3015, pushing back, stand B1.
aboard, Captain. Tow's connected. Bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Okay, let's just make sure seatbelts on, beacons on, bleeds on. We are on. Let's release the brake. Release the Kraken.
Here comes the pushback. Light 'em up.
All right, we're just about spooled up on number 1.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake. And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
All right, let's quickly get this thing ready to go. Click and off, set.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Okay, let's check our surfaces while we're at the trim here. Okay, everything's looking good. Auto brakes to max. Did I miss anything? Elapsed time on. And I think we are ready to go. Terrain will come on in a minute. Sarasota traffic, American 3015, taxi to runway 14. Hope y'all are ready. Thanks for being a part of Flying with Mike this new week. We sure appreciate you. And looks like everything is ready to go. We just have to do our final check here of the takeoff config, and then we'll be ready to go as we bring the radars on, taxiing out to the runway. All right, last step. Takeoff check, and we're good. So hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Hope it was a safe weekend, and glad to have y'all here today. As we saw earlier, one of the streamers we follow and part of our channel, Bad Attitude. Hang on a second. I don't think I'm spelling his name right. I never get it right. And here I go giving you a shout out, and you're trying to get banned. Oh, what chart is not correct for you? Oh, well, you got to realize a couple of things with SimBrief. They're going by aircraft in the flight sim world. And usually the ones they list off at the top, usually like ToLiss or fly-by-wire or whatever, they're going by what they're given by the people that make them. They rarely are right on the performance. But I'm glad for it because they're pretty good. And Sarasota traffic, American 3015 departing 15, switching to Unicom. So, yeah, I have found they're rarely in the ballpark. Well, they're in the ballpark enough that we shouldn't run out of fuel, although I have once or twice. But that's because those dastardly headwinds come up. All right, here we go. Okay, clock running. Nose wheel, brakes, throttle, stick forward. Here we go. Okay, rest runway are good. Climb nav armed. 60 airspeed alive. 80. Hand off the throttle. V1. Rotate. Pause climb. AP's on. Okay, throttle and climb. Would have swore I hit the chronometer, but I didn't. Sarasota traffic, American 3015 out of your area. See ya. Okay, flaps are up. We're on our way. Oh, I can't wait to see what 2.0 has for us besides chalks. But yeah, I am really looking forward to X-Plane 2.0. The little teases they've shown us are pretty spectacular. Uh-oh. Oh, you're fine. I'm just going through it real quick. I get it. Give them time. That's actually a new thing still. I think that started like this year or near the near the end of last year. So let them work on getting things, get the real pilots and real dispatchers working at it. Um, oh, I thought she was screaming again. Oh, so give it some time. I mean, I'm not a fan of auto ETC because they leave you hang too much. Um, it's a flight sim thing. I could say, like I say to most, if you want it real, get in a real plane. Then you can cuss out your dispatcher. I mean, talk to your dispatcher. uh, oh, the one that gets, wait a minute. The one that irks me the most is not calculating the hold fuel as part of the minimum takeoff. I didn't even know that's a thing. You dispatchers are going to make it so hard on us. I like it when my friend Jerry and Rig get together and put my dispatch flights together. Jerry rig it for me. So I didn't know though the hold fuel is part of a minimum takeoff fuel. Huh. I thought that was the 45 minutes. No, that actually can't be that. Disregard. Yeah, minutes are reserved. Yeah, that you are not to go into, as they say in many movies, in case of war, you're allowed to. So commercial pilots, when we're at war, you can. Oh, I love that line in movies. I'm not breaking this unless we're at war. Well, if you don't do it, we will be at war. But yeah, yeah. I never knew they had to put. I knew you had to have the fuel to the destination. That's a duh. Otherwise, why even fuel the plane if you're not planning to make it? Secondly, you had to have enough to your furthest alternate. But and that alternate I thought was supposed to be a minimum of a marginal VFR, if not VFR, so that way there is no other than people screwing around on the runway making you have to go around. Which, by the way, they really shouldn't be doing, but yet they do. Yeah, I know. It just to me would make more sense to be well, and I get it. Don't lambaste me, folks. To me, it should be VFR, but the closest VFR airport could be 500-600 miles away, maybe further. You don't like a wall of text? uh, if you can fit it in. Yeah, I've actually had some alternates that have really got me like, what? But yeah, it's brief. I more often than not, I'm not going to my alternate. Plus, most VAs won't let you. I think American has a way for you to do it, but I'm not planning on pushing that. But hey, let's get back to the flight. We're 27,000 feet headed up to DC. Looks like about an hour and a half to go. So nice flying day so far. Till you get to Georgia. Georgia, when Georgia is on your mind, it's a storming all the time. And believe me, I think it's storming there right now. So if you're looking and want to fly in that kind of stuff, Atlanta's the place to be. Although we got some, looks like I don't know our actual METARs around here in St. Louis. But we have some pretty good conditions for you today as well if you like instrument flying. But yeah, the bottom line though, I know where you're coming from. I've seen alternates and all on there that are just, uh, where do they come up with it? But MSP to BJI, and I was able to fit enough fuel to get them all the way to Detroit. MSP to BJI? You know you're making me look it up. Oh, must be noontime. Doctor's office is out for a walk. I'm not about to try to pronounce, but you had Detroit? Ouch. That's a huge ouch. Bemimidiji. Hey, I'm from the Midwest, not the Canadian Peninsula. I know it's still part of the U.S., although they can look out their window and probably see Canada. Wow. I had to look that up to see how far away Detroit was. That's pretty good. No fuel, no weight restrictions or anything. That's pretty good. By the way, folks, that flight that he talked about, Minneapolis to Bemidji, and please, forward all of your hate mail to the Minnesota governor. Let's see. Where'd it go? I lost it. There it is. It's straight line, not putting in a route, 173 nautical miles. Now, to get over to Detroit, I'm just going to eyeball it at 700 miles. Let's see. We'll do it this way. DTW. I was my first. So about 600 miles. Ouch. Oh, man. Awesome. That's and I was just saying to myself, the Air Force isn't up playing in this soupy weather we have here today. Man, wimps. No, they are. It was was that a CRJ 700? Wow. You guys have all the fun. I love doing those kinds of things. So, I had a program. I still do, actually. I just rarely use it. I keep it up to date, though. Professional flight planner. And I can really, well, I can do it on Sim Toolkit as well, or Sim Brief, but it's more difficult. And I haven't really tried plugging all of these in. We may off air one day, I'll pull it up and have you give me a flight of some kind and I'll push the numbers through it and see what happens. I haven't used it since SimBrief really came out and started with the aircraft performance. That's the big thing I use professional flight planner for, was aircraft performance. Top Cat before, and then same company for the most part, but yeah. Oh, hang on a second. That's what I get for trying to multitask and knowing my multitask abilities are useless. There we go. All right, we'll try that later. Something that's been bugging me for months. Now I know why. But yeah, it's a great program. And just so you know, Bad Attitude, and I know you already probably know this, in the aircraft profiles that you set up, you can set what you want from MEL to minimums and all of that. Now, how that all gets calculated in SimBrief, I'm not, it's meant for us dummies to the dispatch world. And to those that are in the know, well, it's kind of like those that are in the know that watch movies they know a lot about and go, you can't do that. No, it doesn't work like that. So anyway, but we're on our way. Hey, we got a good hour ahead of us, hour and 30 minutes, working our way up Florida and soon towards a DC. On a pretty much quiet Monday morning on VATSIM here in the States. Everybody recovering, I guess, from their weekend. I'm going to tell you, we went out Saturday and the traffic was, I was trying to figure out what the heck is coming up that's got all the people out and going, aside maybe from Lawn and Garden. I was really shocked at how many people were out. That or they're finally going, I think we can get out. The winter's over. Maybe. So, but yeah, it was unbelievable. So, that or they heard storm and thought they meant snowstorm and were out getting their French toast supplies. Bread, milk, and eggs. So, but yeah, we're on our way with about an hour and a half to go to Reagan right now. The game plan, unfortunately, is the Rivers approach. I was really hoping for the real world to be nice to me and let me come in on runway 33. It's not. Maybe tomorrow it would have been, but not today. Uh, but we'll see from there what we can, get into. If time permits, I should say. So, and Bad Attitude has been on texting with us and getting ready, or is flying, one of the two. Um, O'Hare to Savannah or reverse it. One of the ways. Or both. Who knows? Maybe he's good enough to fly two planes at once. What's going on YouTube here? So, ooh, what's this? Oh boy, he didn't do that, did he? I'll keep it to myself. Uh-oh. Oh boy. This picture is, oh, priceless. The our granddaughter is handing some of her presents to the dog. But, that's normal things, right? The dog's expression is, what do you want me to do with this? Poor Winston. Oh, but anyway, welcome aboard. Thanks for being a part of Flying with Mike today. It's my pleasure. We have service from Sarasota to Reagan National. The hope was, for those just tuning in, runway 33, not to do anything of the sort of going, looking at the crash and all of that. No, I didn't realize that airline A319, 320 type aircraft 737s landed on 33. I pretty much thought we were relegated to the 1 and 19, north or south. And lo and behold, they actually do land. And obviously, when you look at the chart, short taxi to the terminal off of it. So that makes total sense to me. And then, of course, many people go, well, it's a 5,000-foot runway. Well, so is Santos Dumont. Actually, it's less. And they land these kind of aircraft all the time there, and they never, or at least they're very good at not putting it in the press, oopsing on the runway. I doubt the latter, by the way. So, yeah, I was really hoping. Oh, it is rare that they'll take that run. I was kind of under the impression, well, again, when my dad was flying, it was a whole different era of flying, pre 9/11. And some rumors I'm hearing aren't making me, well, are kind of verifying what I think of the FAA. So let's just put it that way. But yeah, it's, I thought they were just too short. And lo and behold, I forget Santos Dumont is even shorter. So anyway, I was going to go ahead and shoot for 3-3. Now, many would, well, why don't you just do 1-5? Because it's a very long taxi to the terminal. Hence why they would do it is that short taxi. So, oh, a circle to land, huh? Because I got RNAVs that'll bring them in. Now, the 1-5, that one looks like, I haven't looked at that RNAV yet on that one. That one looks a little interesting because the whole goal of the Rivers approach, if you're familiar with the LDA and the RNAVs, to keep you in this corridor that keeps you away from the monuments, as well as on the other side away from the Pentagon. So you're in this corridor, which is basically bound by the river. Yeah, neat name for an approach, River's Approach. Anyway, and then you make that turn at the end for the runway. I don't know how they line you up for 1.5, if you come in and do a hook for it after or before the Pentagon or what. So like I said, I haven't looked at it, so I don't know anything about 1.5, but I'm kind of I'm going to keep studying, and well, we have some time this week. Oh, I figured they'd be coming in on the ILS for runway 1, asked to sidestep, so to speak, over to 33. Huh. I don't know. I don't listen to the comms there, and I don't obviously get to chit chat with pilots other than my dad about it. But yeah, that was my goal, was to come in from the south and hook over 233. Winds are just way too not favorable for that. So I, again, still have not looked at the chart for 3.3. Because today we are not flying it. Today we're doing the RNAV Yankee, I think. Do I need to switch? I didn't think to look at the requirements. Radar close adherence. Yeah, we know that. Oh, excuse me. Oh, my nose. So, but again, when my dad flew, he was flying Dash 8s, which would make any runway at Reagan very usable for him. So, oh well, it's a bummer. Matter of fact, while we're kind of in this time frame, let me pull up some charts and take a look. Yeah, they're the RNAV for 3.3 is just like rivers. You follow the bay, and right at that last moment, you make the kick over to land. Huh. Would have been fun. It looks like fun. Looks like it would have been fun. Here's the chart. All right, so minimums are 680 feet MSL, 2.25 for visibility. That looks like fun. That would have been so much fun to take this Airbus into. Okay, turn required in visual segment. Okay, so you got to be visual at IDEC. And fly visual to the airport. Cool. Straight out to Georgetown, NDB. Fly over and procedure turn back for right-hand turns. That's a pretty neat approach. All right, let's take a look at what 1.5. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll fly the rivers before I do that. Considering right about here is the Pentagon. I'll just continue along the river for runway 1. Or 19, sorry. And just so everyone can see the visual, there's Derek, and basically you follow it. Make your turn after the Rock and Bow Bridge into the runway. Basically, you want to stay away from all of the monuments here and the Pentagon. So there's your corridor. It's called the rivers for a reason. All right, that was kind of cool. Okay, no, I'm just looking at the Jepson for runway 33. And I would say pretty close to it, except I call it a sidestep. You could call it a circle. You know, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. And yeah, that would have been fun. Maybe next time. Oh no, I'm just looking, like I said, at the Jepson there, a bad attitude. Just getting an idea what we're missing out on today. Doesn't mean next time on Flying with Mike, we don't come in on that. By the way, where's your Embraer 175? You could land on it. All right. So anyway, okay. I mean, yeah, I know what you were getting at there. I call it a sidestep, but I saw watch circle to lands all the time. At Mid America, they'd come in, get to a certain point, and then do their little circle around. Definition of circle around and come in opposite way. But yeah, I get your, yeah, that's what they did. But yeah, that's what we were hoping to fly today. Like I said, that'll have to be another day. Next, though, we could and are trying to set up for the expressway visual to La Garbage Can, which actually the actual approach I can find, but it's well outdated in the term expressway. It's now a different name. I don't know why, but that's probably FAA terminology to keep us on our toes. But yeah, I've got the information I need to be able to shoot it. I just need the weather to behave. Now, that one actually looks pretty interesting. So maybe, who knows? We'll see what kind of time constraints we have. We're kind of down to just a little over an hour. Yeah, a little over an hour to Reagan. So we'll kind of see what we can do out of Reagan. So, all right. You know what? I'm going to bump this up. All right, we're about where those storms should be, and I will not verify or not if they're there or not, because the radar isn't showing. Uh-oh. Let me try something here, otherwise I may have to restart something. Yep, I think I got to restart Sim Toolkit. All right, there we go. Looks like still the same weather. 1652. Little bit on the old side. I didn't see just how old. All right, newest weather in as of 1752. That was 1652. Pretty much what you see there, 180, 19 gusts to 24. Oh, gusty winds. 10-mile visibility, and really the clouds won't be a factor here. Looking pretty good. All right, so things are looking good. Let's take a look here at the map. Well, that explains why we don't see the thunderstorms. Yeah, they're way out of range. Just up here in the corner, so that's why we're not seeing them here. Oh well, hopefully things get a little better down the road with X-Plane with the weather. Weather is the toughest thing. Without something of the old active sky, I don't think the new one is like that at all anymore. And it's not all that, all that worth my money. Let's just put it that way. And I still think they've done something to decrease the weather here. I don't know. Just seems like it's so flat again to me, and I don't know what's causing it. All right, folks, I am going to jump off here for a second, run down, check the kitty, see how she's doing with Grandma, and make sure Grandma's okay. And I'll be right back. it's a setting on my part or if it's something X-Plane did. Let's see if that picture took. It did. All right. So, but again, I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful time, and looking forward to our arrival in DC, albeit runway 19. Again, I'm not going to argue way too much here because the Rivers approach is an amazing approach. And I highly recommend it to everybody. The livery you're seeing here, I don't think American does this in their A319s anymore. I heard a nasty rumor that the A321s, not sure if Neo or CO got them, but they're the ones that get these special liveries now. Which I kind of think sucks because the A319 America West livery is, I love it. I just can't see that on an A321. I am so sorry, folks. I was moving the wrong lever. Oh man. I was moving VATSIM instead of Spotify. That's why it was overpowering probably even me. Oh, anyway. All right, about 213 miles to go. Enjoy. Okay, it looks like we're about 160 miles out. We are set up for the river's arrival. RNAV Yankee, I believe it was. Yeah, RNAV Yankee. Basically, it just means we're going to follow the river. Otherwise, we do the LDA, which is just like an ILS approach, except at the, I think it's a quarter mile from the runway, we make a turn for it. Minimums, however, are higher because that turn point, I believe there are lead-in lights now there to help guide you to the runway, but the bridge that you still use in the rivers approach, Rembic, you still will turn by then for the runway. And giving you plenty of time to get stable and ready to hopefully land and not run off into the Potomac. All right, so I hope y'all have enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Bad Attitude. Very knowledged in flight planning, kind of his job. So the guy is very knowledged. Where me and him may differ is in the word usage. I have, being a private pilot versus instrument commercial rated, my words may not match that of the instrument commercial world or ATP, airline transports. So, and let's also throw the caveat in there. My last flight hour was 1985. So it has been a very long time. Now, granted, I flew a year or two ago, 30 minutes, just VFR. I mean, beautiful fun. Don't get me wrong. I loved every minute of it. Would love to be flying that. No offense to all of you out here. I'd rather be flying that airplane than this one. Outside in the real world between points, or even just in the pattern. But have y'all looked at the price tag to do that per hour? Even owning a plane, even though it sounds like it should be cheaper, it really isn't. Matter of fact, I think it comes in even more expensive. So you just get to say, hey, I own an airplane. It really, there's a lot to ownership of an airplane, more than owning a car. And although technically, if you would, no, because you still wouldn't. It's still night and day. So I was thinking there might be a way to make it the same, but no, not really. Airplane ownership is a whole lot different than cars. So a lot of people think they're handed their vehicles just like a truck. You know, I mean, I would almost more equate to owning a semi to about what it's like to own an airplane. And there's still even a lot of dissimilarities there, aside mode of transport. But there is a lot to it that are equal. Uh-oh, I hear somebody. All right. It was the first officer up here. She snuck up here. All right, we are getting close. The Caps Tree arrival. I did this once, but okay, it is turbojet. I saw turbo. I went, not again. It's turbojets. I did this once before, and it was actually props only. Not this time. We got the right one. I mean, SimBrief's getting better at it, but boy, they sometimes get you on the wrong stuff. And one other thing to be careful with. I noticed it in my pre-flighting when I was flight planning this. If your date and time is not real close to when you're going, say like in my case, it was for tomorrow at 2 or 3 in the morning when it first did it. It actually had us planned for 3-3, and I didn't touch it. However, when I put it to 31 and then our departure time, it switched. So also make sure your weather, not your weather, but your times are accurate, because it actually is doing its best to pull from the most current weather for your departure time. Now, the Sim Toolkit and other problems or not problems, just annoyances. If there's a parallel, it usually puts you on the other one, not the one you're landing on. So that's kind of a bummer. But if you know the basics to runway layout, it makes all the sense in the world. So, all right, so let's take a look. We have 70 miles. Let's get information in there. Let's go to landing. Excuse me. All right, 1752 is still the most current. Go to next phase till we get to the approach page. 29.67. In Airbus, you have to put the decimal. Temperature is 27. And the winds are 180 at, oh my God, 19. Actually, that's not all that bad. Minimums for this approach are 760 feet. Yeah, 767. That is okay, we'll do this. Okay, minimum descent is Dala. Check altitude, and we need to be able to see the runway at about 2.5 miles out, because this is mostly a visual approach from like the second bridge to the airport. So from they don't put the bridges out, so from Dala we're pretty much visual down the river, and we make the turn. Okay. As we fly over Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. So, really a lot of hazards with this approach. The big one is just stay with the river. Don't get either side of it, and you'll do fine. If you get too far to the east, oh yeah, you're gonna hear them say you need to correct if they're up and running. But Sunny, Rourke, Slacker, Dala, Undri is our turn to the runway. RNAV style, but we will probably be flying this visually. Now, game plan, okay. We're going to start in pretty much at our landing speed, which if you didn't pay attention, well, actually, we're going to come down at about 135-ish down the approach. We'll keep the speed on, but we may be controlling it laterally and vertically, and bring it right on in. It's a fun approach. Everyone loves, this is one of those where you just got to take over and you just got to do it. It's fun. That's why I wanted to do 3-3, to do that little, jog to the, up the Potomac and then bank it in for the runway. And I love these kinds of approaches. That's why Santo Dumont I love doing. Even Juneau, which we haven't done in a while, only because usually this time of the year it's icing so bad it's not worth it. So, but we'll get back up there here soon. But we're about 40 miles from the top of descent. So here we go. And we'll maybe a song or two to go, and then we'll kind of back it down. All right, let's start working towards a sterile cockpit here as we are in our descent for Reagan National. I hope you've all enjoyed the flight. We're looking at about 13 or so minutes out, give or take. And we should be in there. Looks like we skirted most of the shower activity and thunderstorms. For now, we'll get in there and see how things turn out. Hope you've enjoyed. Welcome in. This is Flying with Mike. I've been in the flight sim industry better part of 25, 26, 27 years. Started back in 99 time frame, flying FS either 98 or 2000 to start it off. Now, prior to that, when I was in the Air Force in the 80s, I did get a chance to dabble into flight sim, the original, and then with and it may not have been Microsoft, the very first one I ever saw, because it had nothing but X's and Y's for the runway boundaries and the panels. That's the kind of graphics we had back then. But then in the Air Force, I remember the scenery packs. And if you didn't have the scenery, all you could do was Chicago, Megs. You might have had some version of O'Hare and Midway, but the furthest south you could get was Champaign. So draw that circle. That's all you could fly. Then they came out with the scenery packs. But anyway, went through all of the different iterations of Microsoft Flight Sim up to FSX. Didn't dabble into Lockheed at all. Stayed with Microsoft FSX until the year 2020. I say that because Microsoft came out with one because, like usual, they can't usually come up with a original name. I switched to X-Plane, and I am not going back. And I know that troubles a lot of people, but hey, to each their own. Enjoy the sim you're in. I just think the flight dynamics here are second only to the real one. They really have poured in to making the flying part of it more realistic. And that's my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. um, I've been in the streaming world since about the same time, and a lot to learn still, even after 5 years in it. But I'm having fun, and that, to me, that is what flight simming is all about. We're up here to have fun. We're not up here to make it a job. I mean, we're here to relax, enjoy, fly with some great company up here, and enjoy it. So I'm not here to take shots at the other sims or other online people. Just up here to have fun. And we're flying for American Virtual. Challenged at times, but it's fun. I mean, overall, for me, I have fun. Some may not. They're a little different. They're a little different breed of virtual airline. So, but that's if it's for you, great. If it's not, great. No, no one's gonna lose sleep that you chose. Oh, I'm not gonna do that. That's whatever is a good fit for you, and we're glad you're here. So, all right, we are descending on the CAPS 3 arrival into Reagan. We are planning runway 19, so that means we are going to fly either the RNAV or the actual river visual approach. The RNAVs pretty much take you that way. The LDAs are going to be just a localizer displaced off the end of the runway to bring you down the river, if not slightly west of it, and I mean ever so slightly. So it's a fun area, not a difficult approach. A lot of people like to say this is hard. It really isn't. It's mostly a visual approach. But when you do have weather and stuff like that, yeah, then it starts getting a little challenged. So, but I hope you enjoy. To me, I was looking forward to a challenge first time for this guy of taking this Airbus on to runway 33. But unfortunately, the winds are just not in my favor today. That's fine. It'll eventually be there again, and we'll give it a shot. We're hoping that the winds could be in favor for if we can muster the time up, head up to LaGuardia, and shoot the expressway, but we may not be able to. We'll have to kind of see what's going on. But there's a lot of airports between me and DC. Feel free to grab one, get up here, and fly with us. Would love for you to be up here. Beautiful day. I never did hear how Bad Attitude's flight was going. I believe he was either going Savannah O'Hare or O'Hare Savannah. And I do want to fly down to Savannah. There are some interesting things on the runway there I want to see. And if you haven't, there's a great video out there that'll tell you. I don't want to give it away too much yet till we actually give it the yay or nay that it's there. All right, so let's get set up here. All right, so you can kind of see what we're going to do here on the nav display. We're going to be flying up here. We'll hook out here, and then we'll turn for the actual approach. So you can kind of get a flavor of it. I'm going to go ahead and begin to bring us in. And what? Original Godspeed, thank you so much. Just gave out 5 gift subs to the community. Welcome, and we have a hype train up and going. Bring it on, folks. Bring it on as we're coming into the Rivers approach in DC. Hype it up. Yeah, what an entrance Godspeed makes with a gifting of 5 subs. Thank you, sir, so much. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm trying to track down everyone that got a sub here. Let's see here. Where is... All right, it looks like Azul got a gift sub. Lieutenant Yoka, Bad Attitude, T.O. all got subs, and we're still under the hype train, folks. If you just want to send biddies or add to the subs, we'd sure appreciate it. Welcome in. It's nice to hear you're typing there. Godspeed means you either the storms weren't all that bad or they weren't too, you all survived them quite nicely. All right, let's see. We are at caps. Get back into flying here. Between 10 and 13,000. I think we're there. Our next big one is 10,000 at Mojo. Giles Smoot Bam. Bam Bam's out here from the Flintstones. Okay, 11,000. All right, the clouds are looking a lot better when you get down in them. It's just above them and around them. Oh, someone decided to put us at hyperspace. What? That's part of the hype train, I guess. Okay, so we're 10,000. Let's get the lights on. And let's get ready to Rivers Approach. Oh, we got some high flying aircraft above us. All right, looking at our chart, we're going to need to drop down to 6,000 by Bam Bam. And then I think we start our SIC at, we'll be at 3,000 descending to 2,700. Okay, we are getting in there. Let's see how things look out over the news. I got an airport we just flew over. Okay. I'm going at least medium here. There we go. Medium brakes. All right, I got Reagan in sight. Okay, we got to be at or above 7,000 at Smoot, but 6,000 at Bam Bam. All right, welcome in. Thanks for being a part of Flying with Mike. We're sure glad to have you aboard. It's going to be a fun day. I wonder if out in the distance we can see Dulles. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where to look. I think that cloud's got it blocked. That's okay. We got more to worry about than where Dulles is. Okay. Okay, without any controllers, I'm going to go ahead and clear this up. That way we'll turn right on it. And then if we can see the river well and everything, we'll go ahead visual. Well, right now, the current conditions say the winds are right down the runway. That's our river, folks. Fly me to a river.
It's a pretty nice river.
It's called the Potomac.
Hey, I'm not sure if you see my message or not, but can't hear any game audio.
No game audio. I don't know if there's much in here.
There it is. There it goes.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it turned down for the music. All right, here we go. Second notch gear. Now we got a river. That's all we need. And I got an airport. Get those spoilers armed. They're not armed. I thought they were. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna hand fly it. Boy, I definitely have 1.5 made if I wanted it. Okay, flaps full. Spoilers armed. Hands off the throttle for now.
2,500.
Okay, let's get a little out of this descent. That last bridge out there, that's the turn point. All right, here we go. Okay, Pentagon to the right, monuments to the left, runway straight ahead.
Hundred above.
Landing. DC traffic, landing Reagan, American 3051. Think I got a few landings out of that. Wow, I've never come off this fast. I have never come off that runway that fast. Usually I'm way down at the other end. All right, we'll take November to our gate. All right, we're in the gate. Hang on a second. Couple of checks I gotta do. Why did the brakes not set? They showed. Did I accidentally touch it enough? I don't know if the jetway's gonna hook. We'll see. Flaps, APUs up and running. Brake fan. Okay, let's shut them down and hope for the best. Okay, we're in. All the lights are off. We're on the bleeds and all good. All right, moment of truth. It's gonna connect. All right, there you have it. The Allegheny Airlines version, well, not version, livery that American put on their aircraft. I don't know if it's in the A321 or not. Be totally honest, I've heard they're switching them to the A321s. So we'll see. Let's see what this airline got us at. Hang on, let me try something. Diddy. Where is it? There it is.
Yeah, that's a nice looking livery.
All right, there's the Pegasus system that some of us are used to. They got us at 338 feet a minute. And I don't think they do G's, or at least show it. But yeah, that's not bad for Reagan. Not bad at all. Let me pull that away. Yes, that is an outstanding livery. Let me see what one of our moderators are typing in. All right, but yeah, that's a cool livery. I agree with you there, Mr. Godspeed. Let's start looking at the others, shall we? How about Elevatech? Again, this is in alpha, soon to be beta. Get it over here where we actually are. Again, you can see the route into here, how fun it is. I highly recommend this for y'all. It is a fun approach, even though 3.3 would have just been fun for me because it would have been the very first time I actually brought an airplane in onto that runway. So that's what I was looking forward to. But it isn't that way today. All right, so 1.2 G's at 100. Oh boy, we did get slow. I thought we did. No wonder we made that taxiway so quick. at medium brakes, that'll definitely do it. So 331 is not bad at all. My guess is Sim Toolkit is not gonna like us. That's just a guess on my part.
Minus
Oh,
521 toolkit.
for a second there, I thought I had approach and they never binged me, but no, it was I'm trying to think the town with the jersey, Atlantic City. All right, here we go. Sim Toolkit. Sorry, I had something to do on here. There we go. Whoa. 69 feet. Which landing did they take? Because I know there were at least 2 or 3. That.
Said minus 69.
Yeah. I think you may have won.
That last one.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I could log at least 3 or 4 landings on that one. Each bounce.
I'm really starting to think like it's the last landing, because if you like come in for like a landing, right? And then like you touch and then you go, like it won't count that landing.
I don't know. I'll be totally honest, because I have done touch and goes in here.
None of mine register, so.
All right, so 1.23, 69 feet a minute at 109 feet a minute. Let's see where it put us on the runway at. Really? Wow. Well, that is where you want to be, in those big white marks. That's just a nice visual cue, and that's where everybody tries to aim for. They may get long, they may actually get a little short, but all the navigation aids, everything are geared to put you on those big white pads. They're about 1,000 feet down the runway, giving you plenty to, brake to the end. And again, we came off right about here. So you could tell that 109 feet per minute, or what was this, or 109 knots, that's about right at medium brakes to get us stopped by. And here's runway 33. You've all heard this runway. That's the one the ill-fated aircraft collision occurred. They were coming in on this runway. This is why airlines do like this runway. Many pilots like it. It's a short taxi to the terminal. Of course, if you're down here, it's not. But for the most part, most of the carriers go here. So you land, you're going to come off here or here, and it is such a short taxi. That's why many will shoot that way. Is that ice? That's weird. It doesn't, interesting picture. Unless there's, I'll bet there's some blockage. I bet they're putting some things up, so yeah. That makes sense. Well, no, it's gone there. I wonder why at that level it's, unless it's a different month and day. But yeah, that's runway 33. Now, as you looked and we were coming in, I was lined up perfectly for runway 15. So, which would have taken us, where is the Pentagon? Hang on. It should be like right in here. Oh, there it is. Blends in so well, but see, you fly almost right over it. Not usually a no-no. So you'd be coming down the rivers and sides, circle to land. I call it a sidestep, but anyway, I get it. The FAA would say circle it to land over here on 15. All right, that was a fun flight and to a fun landing, I must say. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now, make sure everything's okay downstairs with the little whippersnapper. And if time permits, I may try for another, but I do have a church meeting, my normal Monday night that I go to for tonight. And but yeah, there you have it. The old Allegheny Airlines. My dad flew for Allegheny in the turboprop world. When Allegheny, as I said in the beginning, Allegheny, Piedmont, PSA came together, that's what US Air formed with. Those core airlines became regional carriers to US Airways. And their main fleets became their fleet as they would grow US Air. So pretty cool. Allegheny. Thought it'd be fun to fly this livery today. If I can't get back on tonight, I hope you all have a wonderful Monday. And we'll see you for sure tomorrow. And hope you have a safe night. God bless you all. We will see you tomorrow for sure, maybe here in a few minutes.